sites. So an excavation site is where they actually find the, where they actually start the digging. The definition is in archaeology, excavations is the exposure, processing, and recording of archaeological remains. An excavation site or dig is a site that's being studied. So in our project today, I want you to kind of keep that in mind because I want you to be able to identify what's our excavation site, what are we looking for. And some of our key terms today, now we already talked about fossils, so can I get a volunteer to tell me what fossils are? Yes, what's your name? Thomas.
Fossils are the hard remains of foods that are extinct.
Very good, very good. And we talked about extinction, so who can tell me what is extinct? Your name? Molly.
Extinct means dinosaurs are extinct. They no longer exist.
Very good. So two new words are erosion and weathering. So today we're going to talk about erosion and weathering, and they kind of help the paleontologists find where they need to start digging. Okay, so weathering is the breaking down or dissolving of rocks and minerals on Earth's surface. Water, ice, acids, salt, plants, animals, and changes in temperature are all agents of weathering. So how can, I can understand water, because what is water? Like if you think about weathering, what would water be? Right, but when you think about weathering, what type of weather? Rain or sleet or snow, that's the water affecting the rocks. Let's see, animals change minerals and rocks. What do you think animals do that kind of affect that, Molly? They might eat, they might decay, different things like that. So it says, once the rock has been broken down, a process called erosion transports the bits of rocks and minerals away. So no rock on Earth's surface is hard enough to resist weathering. Together, the processes of weathering and erosion carved the Grand Canyon. Has anybody ever been to the Grand Canyon? Wow. Let's see the Grand Canyon. In the U.S. state of Arizona, this massive canyon is 446 kilometers long, which is 29 kilometers wide and 1.6 kilometers, that's 1 mile deep. So here, this isn't the Grand Canyon, but this is an example of how weathering can affect and kind of like eat away at rocks. So that's how scientists are able to kind of identify, okay, here's a good site for an excavation. They might see a little piece of bone sticking out or something that gives them a clue that it's worth digging in. So now we're going to get started with our own digging. Who's ready for that?
Me. Somebody need chocolate chip muffin.
What would be our excavation site for this project? Well, we're going to try to keep all the particles inside the bowl. Right, okay? Okay, we're going to wait for
Boys and girls, if you gave up chocolate, that's okay.
I give this to
Not yet. Let's wait till everybody.
Y'all don't start doing anything.
We're not gonna eat it
Should
at all.
not be touching it, Connor Doe.
And wait till she gets with you, okay?
You can't touch it.
So as scientists, you guys can work together. And you're gonna make some decisions about what you're gonna use to excavate the chocolate chips. Now, how might a straw represent something that we talked about today? And Molly. The wind. Very good. And with erosion, remember what happened? What happened to the particles or like the sediments? Y'all remember? Erosion is cake sorry. Slowly over a long period of time, it wears it away, and then erosion is when the winds kind of blow it away. So eventually, those particles. Did everybody get a straw? You don't have to use a straw. You can use a toothpick. You can use the straw. But as you're doing that, before we start, you didn't have a straw. Does everybody have something to write with?
Just a second, let's see what Miss Jessica says.
So a big part of science is being able to record data, take
I'm
notes.
not yelling at them. Why would someone?
Not yet. Let's see. Samantha, can you tell me, okay, our first question, does everybody see where it says first question? How will we remove the chocolate chips without harming them? So when our paleontologists are removing fossils, they have to be really careful, right? Because they don't all come in one piece. Sometimes there might be bone here and then one way over there, and they have to be very careful so that when they put it together, it actually looks like whatever that animal was or that fossil, right? So we're going to come up with a hypothesis. Who can tell me what is a hypothesis?
A hypothesis is a guess of what you're gonna do or what might happen.
Very good. So what do you think, what is your hypothesis? And you can work with your group to come up with a hypothesis. How are we going to remove these fossils or chocolate chips? You have a question? With the straw. You think you should use the straw? Okay. Talk amongst your groups. And we got to come to, you don't have to agree, but you're going to write it on your own paper. When you come up with your idea, yeah, you might have a different idea than her. You write yours down, and it's okay if you don't agree. We'll see at the end what process was the most effective. If you want to use something else, if you're not going to eat it anyway, maybe you want to use a pencil instead.
What are you doing?
Okay, and you ate it? I'm already putting them all over.
experiment. Yes.
But it also melts the chocolate.
I heard somebody make a really good observation. Somebody said blowing on it, if you used hot air, could melt the chocolate. So you got to think about how you want to preserve your fossils. So think about it. Sometimes they might be really sensitive, so you don't want to blow too much, right? What might be something else? You can start with your toothpick. You can use whatever. If you're not planning on eating it, you might want to use your pencil if you think that's better. Well, after we work on it, and you're trying to preserve the fossil. You know, early humans used sharp rocks. That's okay. Sometimes you might want to kind of chisel it. Do you think about that? Chisel around it and then blow away the debris?
It's great. I'm almost getting
Okay, well then you gotta change what
I did it
You gotta think of a different way. When you realize you're doing something that's not working, what can you do?
No.
You can blow it.
I got one chocolate chip.
Good job. So
Promise.
somebody got a
I
fossil
already
out.
have 3. What? Yay. I got 3. I have a million chocolate chips. That's fair.
So if I gave you a water
The bears
spray
are not
bottle,
I just got it perfect.
very good. If I gave you a water spray bottle, what would that represent?
The rain.
The rain, and that's what is that called? Our vocabulary word?
I got 4.
Weathering. Good job, Samantha.
That's a good chocolate. Yeah, that's yours, so comfortable.
Were you gonna say
Well,
weathering?
that one looks like it would be easy to try.
What would represent erosion in our land?
See if you can get it this way.
Good job.
Go out like this, not for the, you know what I mean?
So you want to preserve your fossils because we're going to tally them up at the end.
Cookie.
Oh, that's a good chocolate.
So what was your fossil?
I got mine.
Dig it out, or do you think you maybe you should try to chisel around it? That would help? And then you can use it Someone give me another example of something we could add that would represent weathering. Is that water? If we had a spray bottle? Yes, Andrew. Ice, that's right. That was one of the other terms that could affect the weathering. Good job. You don't want to mess up your experiment. That's your, what is this called? Your working area, what's this called? Excavation site.
I broke it.
Okay, we got some extra.
When I want to use my I want to use my
Okay, you can use the straw or you can get another toothpick.
no, it's just blowing it away.
Make sure you keep it inside of our excavation site, remember? The wind blew it away. So that would be what? If the wind blew it away, what was that word? Weathering, and then what? Erosion, right. Over time, and that's another thing that is a part of weathering that you just said, not Thomas. So if something is melting away, in nature, what would that be? What would it, yeah, the sun, right.
That was easy. The one on the side is very easy. You just have to I'm melting it.
Okay, we're gonna work on that for about 1 more minute.
Why do we have to melt it? I got a bunch. can eat the non-chocolate one. Oh no. I'm melting my No, really, mine is actually really good. Mine is actually